I crossed into a world where everyone bonds with beasts. Beasts of every kind roam the skies above the city. I figured, hey, I'm a transmigrator. I'd awaken some triple S rank beast and dominate this world. Instead, I got a cursed start. Born in the slums, 3 million in debt, and my awakened beast, an F-rank Mosquito. North slums. Deep in a dead-end alley, I get kicked through the air like a rag doll. The dull thud of my body hitting the wall is swallowed by thunder. My back slams into a moss-covered wall. Pain explodes through my spine so intense I can't even scream. All I can do is gape like a broken bellows, wheezing. Pay up, or eat that dud egg of yours. The voice belongs to a bald, hulking man. He swings a solid iron alloy baseball bat in one hand, the tip still dripping blood. Behind him, an Iron Tusk Boar, a common rank beast standing waist-high, scrapes its hooves against the ground, its bloodshot eyes locked on the boy curled up in the dirt. That man is Brutus, top enforcer for the North Side Loan Sharks. And I'm just an 18-year-old kid, both parents dead, buried under 3 million in loan shark debt, the weakest student at the academy. Brutus steps forward and grinds his boot into my wrist. Today's your awakening day, isn't it? The whole city's heard. The great Rex Wang stood on the awakening platform for half an hour, and that egg of his just sat there dead silent. They even called it a stillborn. I press my face into the mud and clench my teeth. Not a sound. My eyes stay fixed on Brutus's throat. Same look as always. I hate that look. Brutus's temper snaps. He hoists the alloy bat. No money, dud egg. Your life isn't worth much as collateral either. I'll strip you for parts and sell them on the black market, cover at least a fraction. The Iron Tusk Boar seems to sense its master's killing intent. It lets out an excited shriek and lowers its head to charge. Right at that moment, the gray stone egg slips from inside my jacket. Brutus swings the bat, aiming for my knee, but it grazes my forehead instead, tearing away a chunk of flesh. Scarlet blood drips precisely onto the gray egg. It doesn't slide off. Instead, like water soaking into a sponge, the parched shell drinks it in greedily, completely, gone in an instant. High compatibility genetic sample detected. Player vital signs critical. Forced activation initiated. A cold mechanical voice detonates somewhere in my fading consciousness. My eyes snap open. The dud egg, rolling in the mud, suddenly bleeds an eerie, blood-red glow. Brutus doesn't notice the change at his feet. He's still grinning, commanding the boar to gore me. The Iron Tusk Boar roars and charges its tusk less than 2 feet from my gut. Then the stone egg shatters. No blinding pillar of light, no divine omen heralding a sacred beast, just something no bigger than a fingernail, black and red, silently beating its wings as it emerges. It's a mosquito. An almost malnourished-looking mosquito. Swarm Lord system activated. Bound to starting unit, F-rank blood might. Traits, armor pierce, lethal venom. Kill it. I send the first command in my mind. The tiny mosquito carves an invisible red line through the air. It ignores the Iron Tusk Boar's armored hide and dives like a micro-guided missile straight into the boar's unguarded ear canal. The charging Iron Tusk Boar freezes mid-stride. That savage glare turns to sheer terror. It thrashes its head wildly, letting out a wretched shriek. What's happening? Tusk, what's wrong with you? Brutus goes pale and tries to calm his beast through their mental bond, but all that comes back is endless agony, the chaos of a brain being liquefied. 3 seconds. Black blood pours from every opening of this D-rank beast, famous for its defense. Its massive body crashes down like a toppling mountain. What did you do? Brutus's grip on the bat shakes. He stares at the corpse, then at me, slowly rising from the mud. What weapon did you use? I let out a cold laugh. Weapon? I raise my right hand, one finger extended. A black and red mosquito lands on my fingertip with elegant grace, quietly grooming its wings. Her name is Styx, my beast. Brutus's eyes go wide. He looks like he just heard the world's most ridiculous joke, but the corpse at his feet kills the laughter. A mosquito, an F-rank mosquito. Impossible. How can a mosquito break through an Iron Tusk Boar's defense? Because you underestimated me. My voice is hoarse, still weak from the awakening. Even a divine dragon, if something gets inside its brain, it dies. D-rank beast eliminated, Iron Tusk Boar, evolution points gained, 50. Player status, critical injury. Recommend immediate energy replenishment. Note, blood might is hungry. I stare at the faintly glowing mosquito on my fingertip and feel its hunger pulse through our bond. I slowly raise my head and look at Brutus stumbling backward in terror. Since you're already here, don't leave. My mosquito hasn't eaten her fill. You're insane. I'll kill you. Brutus snaps back to his senses. Without his beast, he's still a massive brute and I'm barely standing. He roars and charges with the bat. I don't move. I just snap my fingers. Brutus's swinging arm locks up midair. He feels a faint chill at his throat. Then a paralysis unlike anything he's felt before floods his body, followed by the suffocating sensation of something blocking his airway. Clang, the alloy bat drops. Brutus claws at his throat with both hands, eyes bulging, a ragged rattling escaping his lips. That powerful body visibly shrivels before my eyes. 10 seconds later, Brutus collapses to his knees, nothing left but a dried-out husk. Awakened user eliminated. Evolution points gained, 10. Warning, insufficient EP to unlock mass split. Recommend continued hunting. I slide down the wall and gasp for breath. Styx drifts back to my fingertip, her belly swollen and glowing crimson. I feel no fear, only a wild, rising laugh. This is power. Power that doesn't bow to anyone. Power that doesn't beg. I lick the blood and rain from the corner of my mouth. Something shifts behind my eyes. As long as I kill enough, even with a mosquito, I can make every dragon and phoenix in this world kneel before me. I force myself to my feet and step over the corpse without a flicker of mercy. Skyfall Academy's front gate. Luxury hovercars line the curb. Students in crisp uniforms cluster in twos and threes, their beasts at their sides. I climb off a battered rental bike. Well, if it isn't our dead egg genius, Rex Wang. A grating voice cuts through the air. A pack of boys in designer combat gear closes in around me. Leading them is a chubby kid with a slick-backed pompadour Lenny. He's Leon's #1 lackey and the proud owner of a C-rank crusher ape. Heard your awakening yesterday was a complete joke. You basically hatched thin air. Lenny cackles. The crusher ape beside him beats its chest on cue, letting out a territorial bellow. Students nearby slow to a stop, smirking with amusement. I lock the bike without even glancing up. Last night's kill taught me one thing in this world. Dignity is earned through force, not words. But I can't make a move here. The Academy's rules are strict. Killing draws the enforcement squad, and I'm not ready to fight the state. Move. 2 words, cold as ice. Hey, attitude much? Lenny's face darkens. He waves a hand, and the crusher ape lumbers forward like a moving mountain, blocking the path. Want to get inside? Sure, crawl under my beast and I'll pretend I didn't see you. The crowd erupts in laughter. I stop. I tilt my head up at the 2-meter crusher ape. My right hand's fingers begin to rub together quietly, my habit before a strike. Styx is tucked inside my sleeve, sensing her master's killing intent, excitedly working her mouthparts. I'm calculating 3 seconds to blind the ape, or 5 to sever its hamstrings when a cool, imperious voice cuts the whole scene dead. Lenny, move, you're dirtying my path. The crowd goes silent instantly and parts like a curtain. A luxury hovercar eases to a stop, the door opens and a young man steps out. Perched on his shoulder is an S-rank beast, the Void Drake. Lenny's face morphs instantly into a groveling smile. Leon, I was just teaching this guy a lesson for you. He's been embarrassing the Academy. Leon strokes his young dragon with one hand and says, flat and bored, does a lion concern itself with a stray dog? Today is trial day. Don't waste energy on trash. He walks past me without a second glance. Lenny shoots me a glare. Lucky you. At this afternoon's combat assessment, I'll finish you in the arena. The crowd disperses. I stand where I am and watch Leon's back disappear into the distance. A cold smile curls at the corner of my mouth. Lion. Stray dog. I hope when your dragon gets drained to a husk, you can still keep that arrogance. Skyfall Academy's back mountain trial zone. The area is stocked with low-rank beasts, a hunting ground for new students to train and feed their beasts. Students usually go in teams with an instructor watching. I go in alone and ditch the main path, cutting into the densest part of the jungle. I'm here for one reason, mass-produce troops. The system panel opens before me. Player, Rex Wang. Beast, Styx. Evolution point 60. Current mission, build your first swarm squad. Required, 100 EP, 50 kilograms of low-grade flesh. Come on out, Styx. I extend my hand. The black and red mosquito buzzes free and circles me eagerly. That's your buffet. I point to a swift rabbit nibbling berries in the brush ahead. For most new students, swift rabbits are nearly impossible to catch, they're just too fast. But through Styx's compound eyes, that rabbit moves like it's taking a Sunday stroll. Buzz, a flash of red light. The swift rabbit doesn't even get to twitch its ears before a sharp pain hits its neck. Styx's reinforced mouthpart pierces the skin in an instant. Paralytic venom floods in. The rabbit goes stiff. Half a minute later, the plump creature topples over. F-rank lifeform absorbs swift rabbit, EP +2. Too slow. I frown. At this rate, how long before I can take on Leon's Void Drake? The system chimes in right on cue. Tip. Spend 50 EP to unlock solo split. Styx will act as the queen and spawn the first batch of soldier mites. Now we're talking. I activate it without hesitation. Styx, still perched on the rabbit's remains, suddenly convulses violently. Her abdomen swells and pulses at a visible rate, and with a series of soft pops, 10 ruby-like micro-eggs drop out. The moment those eggs touch air, they hatch instantly, each no bigger than a housefly but armed with the same razor-sharp mouthparts. Soldier mites. They're weaker than their queen, but they have numbers. I look at the 11 mosquitoes circling me, a fire igniting behind my eyes. This is just the beginning. Go drain every living thing in this forest. I sweep my arm out, and 11 mosquitoes fan out like 11 micro-bombers, vanishing into the deep jungle. Almost immediately, the noisy outer zone falls into an eerie silence. Field mice hiding in their burrows, green snakes coiled in the branches, even wandering wild boars, none of them are spared. For large predators, one mosquito is barely an itch. But 10 mosquitoes hitting at once is torture with no defense. EP +1, +2, +5, the numbers on the system panel go wild. Half an hour later, I'm sitting on a rock surrounded by piles of shriveled beast carcasses. My swarm has grown from 11 to 100. This is no longer just a few bugs. It's a skin-crawling black haze. This is the swarm's most terrifying trait, the snowball effect. As long as there's flesh, they are an endless nightmare. Enough! I see 500 EP in the system and call the slaughter to a halt. Numbers are fine for now. What I need now is quality. I look at the queen, Styx. After all that feeding and splitting, she's visibly larger. EP sufficient. Initiate first race ascension. Direction, blood queen form. Required, 1 portion of elite beast essence blood. Elite beast. I narrow my eyes. The outer zone only has F rank small fry for elite level prey. I'll need to go deeper. Right then, a thunderous roar erupts from deep in the jungle, followed by a girl's shriek. Help! It's a mutant ironclad rhino, it's gone berserk. My pulse jumps. An ironclad rhino, a peak elite beast, thick-skinned and brutal, the perfect material for Styx's ascension. As for saving the girl, I let out a cold laugh and stand up. 100 soldier mites trail behind me like a black cloak. Lucky break, the material is coming to me. I don't charge in yelling like some hero in a comic. I move like a patient hunter, silent, deliberate toward the chaos. I'm waiting for the rhino to wear itself down before I step in to collect. Help! Is anyone out there? A girl stumbles through the undergrowth. Her name is Lily Lynn, Skyfall Academy's most admired support-type student, always surrounded by admirers. Right now, her face is streaked with tears, completely wrecked. 30 meters behind her, an ironclad rhino the size of a tank is bearing down on her. This peak elite beast is in a full rage, dark red eyes, burning with fury. Lily has nothing left. Her beast, a sweet little light sprite, was stomped into paste 3 minutes ago. Now all she can do is pray. The ironclad rhino surges forward, the gap closing in a heartbeat. Lily catches her foot on something and goes down hard into a pit of rotting leaves. She twists around in terror, watching that horn sharp enough to punch through steel filling her vision. She squeezes her eyes shut. 1 second, 2 seconds. The impact never comes. Instead, a teeth-grinding, dense buzzing erupts from nowhere, instantly swallowing the rhino's roar. Lily opens her eyes, trembling. She sees something she will never forget for the rest of her life. The rhino's horn stops less than 4 inches from her nose. The beast hits what feels like an invisible wall and lurches to a halt. Somehow, at some point, hundreds upon hundreds of fingernail-sized mosquitoes have swarmed the rhino's head. The ironclad rhino screams a horrible, wretched sound. It thrashes its massive skull, trying to shake them off, drives its horn into the ground, grinds its body against tree trunks, even rolls across the earth. Nothing works. I stand in the fork of a nearby tree, hands in pockets, eyes cold as ice, like a nobleman watching blood sport. First wave eyelids and soft tissue, second wave seal the nasal passages, third wave advance through the ear canal to the brain. I recite the orders in my mind, fingers tapping a quiet rhythm on the bark. Under my command, the black haze moves with military precision. What is that thing? Lily collapses onto the ground, staring, dazed. She watches the beast that had been utterly unstoppable moments ago convulsing in agony like something drowning. In under a minute, with a thunderous crash, the ironclad rhino's enormous body slams into the earth, kicking up a cloud of dust. It isn't fully dead, yet its limbs twitch and jerk with nervous reflex, but those hollow eye sockets hold no light anymore. I drop from the tree, black hoodie snapping in the wind. I don't spare Lily a glance. I walk straight to the still twitching carcass. Recall. I exhale softly. The black haze scatters and reforms into a flowing black and red river, circling me in an obedient current. Every single mosquito has a belly swollen, translucent, packed full of pure, elite beast essence blood. At the center of the swarm, Styx clings to the base of the rhino's horn. Her body is already changing. High-quality, elite essence detected. Absorption, 100%. Ascension conditions met, initiating race ascension. A flash of hunger burns in my eyes. Through our bond, a wild surge of energy pours back into me. Crack, crack, the black-red shell coating Styx's body begins to splinter and fall away. A bone-deep pressure radiates slowly outward. Her size doesn't explode dramatically, just a size larger than before. Roughly the size of a fist, but her single pair of wings has become 4, their blood-red edges sharp as blades. Ascension complete. Name, Crimson Wing Queen. Rank, E. New trait, 1 sonic burst. High-frequency wing beats generate subsonic waves that rupture internal organs. New trait, 2 blood crystal armor. Defense greatly increased. Resist standard fire and physical attacks. New skill, Swarm Dominion Aura. Swarm control capacity increased to 1,000 units. Beautiful. I extend my hand, and the Crimson Wing Queen carved from living ruby lands gracefully in my palm. Behind me, Lily finally pulls herself back to reality. She struggles to her feet and stares at my back, her expression tangled and edged with disbelief. Rex Wang, is that you? She recognizes the worn-out uniform. She recognizes the school's famous failure. I turn slowly. My eyes pass over Lily with no warmth, just the cold appraisal of a man checking inventory. The rhino's horn is mine. I point to the carcass. The hide and meat are yours, call it a silence fee. Lily freezes. By the Academy's unspoken rules, after a rescue comes heartfelt conversation, or at least fighting side by side, right? Unless you want to die, stay quiet. I step closer. The blood on me forces Lily back instinctively. Everything you just saw, if you breathe a single word about it. If you tell anyone about how many mosquitoes I have. I pause. The Crimson Wing Queen on my fingertip releases a sharp buzz and hovers between Lily's eyes. Next time, this needle goes into your skull. Lily's face drains white in an instant. She nods frantically. I won't say anything. I didn't see anything. You killed the rhino. The loot is yours. I give a satisfied nod, turn and slice the horn off with clean efficiency. This thing will fetch a good price on the black market, enough to pay off a chunk of my debt and buy bulk low-grade meat to feed the swarm. Let's go. I wave a hand. The swarm rises behind me like a black cloak and sweeps me into the depths of the jungle, leaving Lily alone beside the massive corpse. She stares at the body on the ground, and it hits her a horrifying realization. The boy everyone at school called a failure just destroyed a peak elite beast in under 1 minute. The sky is about to change. Skyfall Academy's central battle arena. The place roars with noise, the annual new-to-student assessment. The circular stands are packed with upperclassmen and instructors. The referee calls out from center stage, "Next match, Class 2's Lenny versus Class 9's Rex Wang." Ha 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 ha! The stands erupt in laughter. Rex Wang? The kid who hatched a dud egg? I heard he got an F-rank Mosquito. Does this even need to happen? Just forfeit him already. Don't waste time. Lenny's Crusher Ape is a C-rank power-type beast. One punch could turn that kid to paste, right? Amid the roar of laughter, Lenny swaggers onto the stage. His Crusher Ape looms behind him, nearly 8 feet tall, every muscle coiled and twitching. It beats its chest and stamps its feet, sending up a puff of dust. "Hey, loser!" Lenny bellows toward the still-empty entrance tunnel. "If you're scared, drop to your knees, bow 3 times, and crawl between my legs. I'm in a good mood today. I'll let you skip the 2 weeks in the medical ward." Steady footsteps echo from the shadowed tunnel, unhurried, unhesitating. I walk out, hands in pockets, sunlight falling across my pale face, a sickly, unbothered calm. "Referee, can we start?" I don't even glance at Lenny. I just ask the referee. The referee frowns, clearly unimpressed by the attitude. "Both sides ready. Rules are simple. Yield or lose combat ability. Lethal force is prohibited. Begin." Death wish. Lenny explodes with rage at being ignored. Crusher Ape, flatten him. Rockbreaker fist. The Crusher Ape roars and launches like a cannonball. Its fist radiates muddy yellow light, wind pressure howling as it hammers toward my face. If that fist connects, never mind, a person granite would shatter. Girls in the stands gasp. Leon sits in the highest very important person box, swirling a wine glass, a bored, dismissive smirk on his face. A pointless stomp. But 1 second later, every expression in the arena freezes. I don't dodge the mountain of a fist bearing down on me. I tilt my head slightly, then snap my fingers. A red flash launching after the fist but arriving first cuts through the arena air. The Crusher Ape's fist stops 1 inch from my nose. That enormous body remains locked in its charging posture, but those savage beast eyes instantly fill with broken red veins. Then it opens its mouth, reaching for a roar, and makes no sound. Thud, the Crusher Ape's knees buckle and it crashes down before me. A tiny red dot marks the center of its forehead. "So this is your C-rank beast." I look down at the colossal creature kneeling at my feet and at Lenny standing a few feet away, completely stupefied. A crystal-clear Mosquito blazing with crimson light hovers right behind the Crusher Ape's skull. In that split second, the Crimson Wing Queen had punched through the Crusher Ape's forehead at supersonic speed, instantly destroying its motor nerve center, and exited through the back of the skull. Dead silence across the entire arena. The crowd that was laughing moments ago looks like ducks with their throats squeezed shut, mouths open, no sound coming out. Even up in the VIP box, Leon's wine glass gives a sharp tremor. He shoots to his feet, eyes nailed to that red Mosquito, pupils shrinking to pinpoints. "That's a Mosquito E-rank, no, that speed, that penetration." On the stage, I slowly crouch down and pat the Crusher Ape's stiff cheek. "See? What's the point of being big?" I stand. My gaze sweeps the arena and lands on a ghost-white Lenny. "Still want me to crawl between your legs?" Lenny's knees give out. He crumples to the floor. "I concede. Don't kill me. Please don't kill me." The referee finally announces, voice shaking, "Winner, Class 9 Rex Wang." I turn and walk, no soaking in the applause, no parting threats. Because this is just the beginning. What I want isn't this kind of child's play victory. I reach into my pocket and feel the Wildlands trial application form. That's my real stage. Night falls, Military Zone 7, on the edge of Skyfall City, Blood Mist Badlands. Massive searchlight beams sweep back and forth between razor wire and guard towers. This is the boundary between human civilization and the wild beast territories. Beyond the wire stretches an endless primordial forest. A faintly toxic red haze drifts through it year-round, home to countless bloodthirsty beasts. For normal students, this place is forbidden, but for me, it's paradise. A military transport truck rolls to a stop at the checkpoint. The tailgate drops and dozens of fully armed students jump out, the elite who passed the first assessment round. They'll be running a 3-day live survival trial here. Most faces are taut with nerves and excitement. I stand at the edge with an almost empty old backpack and nothing in my hands. "Well, look who it is, our one-shot wonder." A sarcastic voice rings out. Leon strolls over with his crew. "Heard you spent everything you had on cheap raw meat." Leon glances at the massive burlap sack at my feet. "What, planning a barbecue in there?" I don't even look at him. I just bend down, hoist the 50-kilo meat sack, and shoulder check Leon as I pass. I walk straight toward the zone's entrance gate. Leon's crew tenses up to move, but Leon stops them. He watches my back, a glint of venom in his eyes. "No rush." People die in the wildlands all the time. Once he's inside the forest, there'll be plenty of chances to put him down. Half an hour later, I'm 5 kilometers deep into the Badlands. I've avoided every main trail, even avoided beast-dense zones, seeking out the darkest, dampest, most toxic ground I can find. This is the spot. I stop before a swamp tangled with massive rotting tree roots. Come on out, all of you. I tear open the massive sack and dump hundreds of kilograms of reeking, blood-soaked offal into the swamp. The stench detonates outward. Every mosquito hidden in my sleeves, collar, and hair bursts free at once. My swarm now stands at 500 strong. All units feed. Full-speed reproduction. I issue the supreme order. Anyone watching this from outside would have nightmares for years. 500 mosquitoes savage the pile of rotting flesh, driving their mouthparts in and drinking greedily. As the energy floods in, their abdomens begin to glow. That light is the sign of imminent splitting. Styx, acting as the queen, hovers in the air overhead, emitting low-frequency pulses to accelerate the entire swarm's metabolism rate. Biological energy-consumed reproduction begins, numbers exploding exponentially. But this isn't even the main point. I'm staring at a new option on the system panel. Special environment detected, toxic swamp miasma. Spend 200 EP to unlock environment adaptation mutation. Activate. No hesitation. The moment the command fires, the newly splitting mosquitoes undergo a horrifying mutation. Their bodies are no longer pure black. Each sprouts a bloated, sickly green abdominal sac filled with violently unstable high-pressure toxin. This is my first purpose-built unit, the burst mite. Individually weak, even slow, but get one close to an enemy, and that green sac detonates instantly, spraying strong acid capable of eating through steel. Best of all, they're nearly free. One mouthful of rotten flesh makes one. Touch it, it explodes. I pick up one no bigger than a grain of rice and watch the green light pulse in its belly. A satisfied smile crosses my face. Right then, the ground begins to tremble, like a heavy truck rolling in the distance, but within seconds the trembling intensifies. The swamp surface ripples. Dead branches rain from the trees. Warning, warning, high-energy reaction detected. Beast stampede forming to the north. Estimated numbers exceeding 10,000. I snap to my feet, leap to the top of a tall tree and look north. Several kilometers away, a sky-blotting wall of dust rises from the horizon. Countless beasts are charging toward us like they've lost their minds. They're not attacking, they're running. Something behind the stampede, something worse, is driving them forward. At the same moment, the shared comms channel explodes with distress calls. Help, this is Squad, a stampede contact requesting support. Leon, save us. Damn it, I didn't think the Badlands would have a stampede this size. The comm fills with screams and the sound of tearing. Any sane person watching that beast flood rolling toward them would turn and run. I don't. Instead, I laugh and it keeps growing until it becomes something unhinged. Perfect, this is perfect. I spread my arms wide, welcoming the wave of stench rolling in. I was just worrying a few hundred kilos of rotten meat isn't enough to build a swarm to 10,000 unit scale. But now tens of thousands of tons of fresh food are delivering themselves to me. I look down at the swamp below, 5,000 strong already. Green burst mites and red soldier mites weaving together, forming a suffocating death cloud. Then let's go against the current. I raise my hand and point at the oncoming flood of beasts, and something fully unhinged ignites behind my eyes. Go! Show this world what a real natural disaster looks like. 5,000 mosquitoes surge skyward and converge into a massive black phantom hand, slamming down into the oncoming tide of 10,000 beasts. The first collision happens right at the edge of the wasteland swamp. The common rank predator charging at the front doesn't even register what's happening before thousands of mosquitoes blanket it. Not even a shriek, just a bare skeleton left in place. One isn't enough. I stand at the treetop, advancing with the swarm. I want every single one of you to stay. He's insane that failure has lost his mind. A kilometer away, in the student group scrambling in full retreat, someone glances back and nearly collapses from sheer terror. What they see shatters everything they know. Me in my cheap hoodie standing at the top of a towering dead tree, arms spread wide, and beneath my feet, a churning black cloud pulsing with green and red light charges forward with the force of something that doesn't come back and slams headfirst into the first wave of the stampede. Is he trying to die? That's thousands of beasts out of control. Lily is being pulled along by her group, but she can't stop herself from looking back. The next second, two tidal forces crash together. There's no image of me getting stomped flat. Instead, the front of the beast stampede hits what looks like an invisible industrial grinder. I stand at the treetop and release one cold word. Forward. Leading the charge is a pack of steelback wolves. Their iron hide can stop bullets, but what greets them now is a wall of hundreds of burst mites flickering with sickly green light. Rapid micro-explosions stitched together into one continuous roar. Each burst mite hits like a firecracker on its own, but the horror is in the acid. Green corrosive liquid sprays wide with every blast, splashing into the steelback wolves' eyes, nasal passages, even eating into their iron spines. Those untouchable wolves writhe and roll across the ground in agony. Soldier wave, move in! A light flick of my finger. 3,000 soldier mites that have been waiting surge forward like sharks that smell blood. They don't need to find weak spots, everything is a weak spot now. They pour through every wound the acid has burned open. The massive alpha wolf opens its jaws to snap at the swarm in the air, and a dozen soldier mites dive straight down its throat. 3 seconds. The 200-kilo alpha collapses. The dozen mites that fly back out have bellies swollen tight, blazing crimson. They don't stop, they split mid-air. The system panel in my vision refreshes wildly. D-rank steelback wolf eliminated. EP plus 50. Energy overflow auto-executing split sequence. Current swarm count 6,200. Not enough. Still not enough. I watch the bloody carnage below. No pity in my eyes, just a raw hunger for numbers. The front ranks fall, the back ranks fill in. As long as I don't die, my army is infinite. Now the Stampede's second wave crashes forward, this one made of something far bigger, a herd of iron bison and blade weasels. Their sheer mass finally begins to show. Countless soldier mites get crushed under the bison's iron hooves, sliced apart by the blade weasel's cutting limbs. I watch my swarm count drop by hundreds in seconds. I don't flinch. A war of attrition. Attrition is the last thing the swarm fears. I push my mental energy to its limit. Styx, activate Queen's aura. Styx, who has been hovering at my shoulder all this time, finally moves. She rises to the center of the battlefield above the swarm, wings beating at extreme frequency, emitting a subsonic frequency humans can't hear but one that drives every swarm unit into a frenzy. Under that pulse, every soldier mite acts like it's been injected with stimulants. Attack speed up 30%. Even more terrifying, Styx opens her red crystal mouthpart and inhales sharply. The blood mist hanging over the battlefield transforms into visible red threads streaming into her body. Then she begins firing eggs downward into the swarm. Each egg hatches the instant it hits the ground. Lose 1,000 the next second, 2,000 hatch. Sustained through combat, a self-sustaining war machine. This is why every civilization in existence considers the swarm a forbidden force. What in the world is that thing? On the high ground nearby, organizing a last-ditch defense, Garrison Squad Leader Sergeant Cole lowers his binoculars. He had already made peace with watching over 100 students die and dying with them. But now he watches the beast tide that should have obliterated the defensive line get cut in half by force. A black vortex has appeared at the center of the stampede. That vortex is a bottomless pit. Every beast that enters it goes silent, and at the center of the vortex stands a boy perched in a treetop. Report, Sergeant. Biological readings in that zone are rising exponentially, already past 30,000. His radio operator's voice shakes. But that boy's vitals are steady, actually climbing. Sergeant Cole swallows hard. What kind of monster student is this? Is his beast a god or a devil? Right then, several desperate human screams cut through the stampede, real cries for help. A student's squad that didn't make it out is cornered on a boulder by a pack of stray shadow leopards. Help! Leon, help us! One of the girls screams desperately into the distance. By now, Leon has already retreated to safe high ground. He hears the screams. He looks at the shadow leopards. He clenches his jaw and turns away. You're kidding. Going back now is suicide. I notice the commotion. Not because I'm here to rescue anyone. I just noticed those shadow leopards have excellent hides, perfect material for spawning higher grade units. Go. 1 finger points. 500 soldier mites peel off from the main swarm and blanket the shadow leopards just as they're about to pounce. The leopards don't even get to swing their claws. They're swallowed by the swarm. They thrash and roll, trying to crush the mites under their bodies, but mites go everywhere. 10 seconds. The shadow leopards that terrorize new students go still. On the boulder, the students collapse one by one, gasping. They look up at me as I drop down from the tree. Thank you, Rex, you saved us. From now on, you're our boss, we follow you. I walk past them without a glance, bend down, and slice open a shadow leopard carcass with practiced efficiency. I pull out a beast core radiating dark light and pocket it. Don't get the wrong idea. I just don't like anyone touching my feedstock. I turn and drive back into the densest part of the stampede, leaving the students staring at each other in stunned silence. It hits them in this man's eyes. They are no different from the dead beasts on the ground. As time passes, my swarm grows to 50,000 strong. Everything in our path is stripped bare. Even the stampede itself begins to feel fear. The beasts that had been stampeding in blind panic begin instinctively veering around this walking disaster. Oh, this is good. This is so good. I watch the EP counter on the system panel break through 5,000. But right then, a terrifying pressure detonates from the deepest part of the forest. The force of it is so overwhelming that dozens of low-rank soldier mites in the air are stunned and drop from the sky. Then a roar like a thunderclap tearing the sky. Every beast in the stampede drops to the ground in a unified bow. Not reverence, absolute submission burned into their genetic code. I spin around, pupils snapping tight. There, at the origin of the stampede, something 3 stories tall, wrapped in coiling blue lightning steps out of the forest. Every footfall leaves a scorched crater in the earth. The spines along its back stand like lightning rods. Its eyes burn like twin searchlights locked on the only human still standing on the battlefield. The system's blood-red warning box flashes without stop. Warning, warning, Lord rank lifeform detected. Target, Thunderspine Titan Lizard. Rank, C-rank Lord. Danger level extremely lethal. Recommend immediate retreat. I lick my cracked lips. A normal student seeing this thing would probably already have passed out. I don't retreat. Instead, pure greed ignites behind my eyes. 5,000 EP if I kill it, can I hit 10,000? And if Styx absorbs this thing, what does she become? I slowly raise my right hand and give that godlike monster the middle finger. Come on then, big guy. Let's see whose skin is thicker, yours or my stingers. The thunder spine titan lizard is clearly enraged by the provocation. The spines along its back blazed with blinding blue light. No warning, straight to the ultimate move. Skill activated Thunder Inferno. A massive lightning chain fires from its back, instantly branching into hundreds of arcs that blanket a 500-meter fan in front of it. For a dense swarm, this is catastrophic. Crackling explosions fill the air with the stench of burning. I watch helpless as a third of my 50,000-strong army gets wiped out in one strike. As the swarms master through our mental bond, that mass death backlashes directly into me. I spit a mouthful of blood. Ha! He's dead! He is absolutely dead! Leon watches from the distance and nearly jumps with excitement. That's the Thunderspine Titan Lizard, the natural predator of every swarm-type beast. Rex Wang actually tried to fight it head-on, not even the heavens can save him now. I just wipe the blood from my mouth with the back of my hand. The cold fury in my eyes sharpens. Clear the board skill. Fine, let's see how many more of those you've got. I fight through the pain, mine running at full speed. Scatter all units, scatter. 3-dimensional encirclement. Burst might, first wave, ground level, target the underbelly. Soldier mites don't worry about casualties. Pack every opening mouth, nostrils, every gap. The remaining 30,000 might stop clustering and spread like a sandstorm, closing in from every direction with no blind spots. The Titan lizard swipes furiously, each claw crushes hundreds of mites. It fires another lightning burst, and another black patch burns through the swarm. But there are too many, and they're too small. For a creature of this size, swatting mites is like firing a cannon. It flies all that power and nowhere to put it. Now burst mites detonate. I seize the split second when the Titan lizard's power is spent and its guard drops. Over 1,000 surviving burst mites lock on like green cruise missiles and drive straight into the lizard's underbelly. Chain explosions erupt, strong acid eating through everything, even Lord rank armor blasted open, flesh torn wide. The Titan lizard releases a scream of pure agony. It thrashes and rolls. Not done yet. I've already closed the distance quietly to within 50 meters of the Titan lizard, the rhino horn gripped tight in my hand, eyes locked on the blasted wound. Styx, are you ready? The Crimson Wing Queen, hidden in my collar all this time, gives a single quiet tremor of her wings. She is building power, waiting for the one-strike kill. The swarm on the battlefield has taken devastating losses. Suddenly, the Thunderspine Titan lizard opens its massive jaws again, readying a lightning breath that could wipe the board. Move! I roar. But I don't send Styx at the lizard. Instead, I do something no one expects. I hurl the rhino horn with everything I have. The throw is powered by my body-reinforced arm strength, combined with a precise angle. The horn flies like a javelin straight at the lizard's eye. The Titan lizard flinches, closing its eye and jerking its head. The lightning breath cuts off, thrown off course, blasting into the rock face beside it. In that 0.1 second window, when its power is completely cut, a red streak of light dives straight for the Titan lizard's still not yet closed tail vent and goes in. The dirtiest move in existence. Also the most effective. Dead silence. Even Leon, far away, clamps his legs together in horror. That is absolutely disgusting. The next second, this Lord rank monster locks up completely. Its eyes bulge. Every muscle in its body convulses violently. It tries to scream, but something blocks its throat. Inside its body, a massacre is underway. Styx, now inside, fires up overdrive egg production among the steaming organs of the Titan lizard. Thousands of larvae begin tearing through the lizard's body like a party that was never meant to end. The Thunderspine Titan lizard slams itself against the cliff walls, pulverizing the rock face. It tries to electrocute the larvae inside itself, but that only scorches its own organs faster. 1 minute later, this C-rank lord capable of destroying an army crashes down. Immediately after, countless red mites pour from every opening in its body. C-rank lord eliminated, Thunderspine Titan lizard, massive EP gain 5,000, rare materials obtained, Thundervein Dragonbone Titan Beast Core, high-rank Thunder attribute gene detected. Congratulations, Queen Styx meets the conditions for second ascension. I drag my exhausted body toward the mountain of flesh. The swarm pours out of the Titan lizard, surrounding their queen as she emerges. Her form has changed completely once more. The red crystal body is now cloaked in a deep, dark violet. Her size has actually shrunk now, no longer than a finger, but the 4 wings have become 6. Strange violet lightning arcing across each wing surface. The mouthpart now a translucent black violet. Ascension complete. Name, Void Thunder Empress. Attributes, Poison Thunder Dark. New trait 1, Phantom Float. New trait 2, Thunder Venom Sting. New trait 3, Parasite Puppet. I extend my hand. The Void Thunder Empress drifts down and lands on my fingertip in a halo of violet lightning. I look at the Beast Lords fleeing in terror, then at the top students in the distance, every face paler than a corpse. I stroke Styx's wings softly and let out a low laugh. Leon, I bet that little lizard of yours would make a pretty good meal too. The morning mist hasn't cleared yet when the Skyfall City Beast Tamers Guild's appraisal hall is already packed wall to wall. This is where hunters cash in their kills. Boom. A massive reinforced body bag slams onto the appraisal counter. The appraiser dozing at his desk startles awake, straightens his glasses, and is about to snap at whoever made a mess, but the moment his eyes meet the boy standing at the counter, the words die in his throat. Hovering at my shoulder is an unassuming black-violet mosquito. Appraise everything. I keep it short, voice rough. The appraiser frowns and unzips the body bag. The next second his pupils blow wide. This is the thunder-spine titan lizard's dorsal ridge. And this hide a complete C-rank lord-level beast hide. The noise of the entire hall cuts out instantly. Every eye turns on me like a spotlight. C-rank lord materials in Skyfall City, these are scarce strategic resources. Even the biggest mercenary squads fight and bleed just to get scraps. And this kid dragged in a complete set. My god, look at those cuts. Smooth as glass. What kind of weapon could dismember something that cleanly? Who is this guy? Never seen him before. The appraiser's hands are shaking. He pulls out a precision scanner and runs it over the Titan beast core. The device lets out a sharp alarm tone and maxes out its readings. Purity, 98%. Thunder element activity, off the charts. This is a premium grade core. My friend, this thing is worth at least 50 million Alliance credits. Put it in an auction and it could hit 80 million. I keep my face flat. Numbers mean nothing to me. I just know it's enough to buy massive quantities of high-grade feed solution and push my swarm's numbers to 100,000. Write it up. I knock on the counter. Hold on. A deep, imperious voice drifts down from the second floor very important person lounge. The crowd parts automatically. A middle-aged man in an expensive suit descends the stairs, 4 bodyguards in black combat suits behind him. The man looks 7 parts like Leon, but his eyes are darker and colder, like a snake coiled in the shadows, waiting to strike. Kane Lee, the Lee family patriarch, and vice president of Skyfall City's Beast Hamers Guild. Kane walks to the counter without a glance at me, reaches over, and picks up the Titan Beast Core. A flash of unconcealed greed crosses his eyes. Fine piece, peak thunder attribute perfect ascension material for Leon's Void Drake. He tosses the core to his bodyguard without looking, then finally turns toward me. This item is being requisitioned by the Lee family. Flat tone. Like he's stating a law of nature. The hall goes dead quiet. No one dares speak. This is the Lee family's power in Skyfall City. I slowly raise my head, eyes filled with quiet amusement. Requisitioned, do I get paid? Kane looks like he just heard a joke. A thin sneer curls at his lips. Young man, learn to know your place. This Thunderspine Titan lizard, according to Leon, was brought down because his team drew its aggro. You just stole the kill. By rights, this is a team trophy. Keeping it for yourself is already a serious offense. He pauses. He reaches into his pocket and pulls out a 100-credit bill and lets it flutter onto the counter in front of me. But the Lee family is always generous. Consider that 100 credits your moving fee. Take it and go. I stare at the bill, then I start laughing, shoulders shaking. What, too much for you? Kane's brow furrows. No. I stop laughing. I reach out, pinch the bill between 2 fingers, and in full view of everyone give it one slow rub. The bill crumbles to dust. I'm laughing because a man your age has a skull full of nothing but mush. I step forward, half a meter from Kane's face. You want my things? Fine, pay with your life. Kane's face turns thunderous. Killing intent floods the room. Ungrateful little, no one in Skyfall City has ever refused the Lie family. Since you don't know what's good for you men, this individual is suspected of colluding with the demon cult. Detain him on the spot. Confiscate all assets.